Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an absolutely incredible story about human achievement and, really, deep cultural connection. I mean, picture this, an astronaut floating out there in the cosmos, surrounded by stars, but grounded by her deep cultural heritage. We're looking at the story of a famous NASA astronaut who didn't just travel to space, but actually brought her roots along for the ride. It's just a fascinating look at how our origins shape our journeys, no matter how far from home we end up going.
Now, before we really get into the facts, I want you to imagine something for a second. You're packing for the ultimate trip, literally leaving Earth's atmosphere. Space is incredibly tight. Every single ounce matters, and you can only bring a few small items to remember exactly where you came from. So, what would you choose? A favorite photograph? A daily journal? Maybe a meaningful piece of jewelry? As you'll see today, the few things a person chooses to take into orbit tell us pretty much everything we need to know about who they truly are.
All right, Section 1, meet Sunita Williams.
So our source material for this explainer actually isn't some dry, boring technical manual. It's an activity straight out of an educational textbook. It's structured as this really engaging, imaginary interview with Sunita Williams, designed to help students learn about her life in a fun, conversational way. We're going to use this exact Q&A format today to break down her biography into some really accessible, bite-sized pieces.
Right off the bat, we get her impressive professional title, Flight Engineer at NASA. I mean, wow, right? When you picture her in that high-tech, pressurized spacesuit, you are looking at a role that requires immense technical expertise, split-second problem-solving, and just absolute precision under unimaginable pressure. But the person inside that suit, the one holding that highly technical title, has a deeply grounded, very personal history.
Moving right along to Section 2, Early Life and Education.
Keeping with the vibe of our textbook source, let's look at this direct interview question. Where did you get your graduation from? It's that classic question of origin and training, so let's see exactly how her path unfolded.
Okay, so her American journey actually kicks off in the Midwest. Born in Ohio on September 19, 1965. So, a very grounded, earthbound beginning. From there, her path takes her south for higher education, where she ultimately graduated from the Florida Institute of Technology. And it was that rigorous academic background that paved the exact path to her current career, launching her from those Midwestern beginnings all the way to a high-tech rocket facility as a NASA flight engineer. It's a classic, amazing story of education leading to high-level scientific achievement. But, there's another, equally important half to this story.
Which brings us to Section 3, Inspiration and Cultural Roots. Let's dive into this, because her heritage is this absolutely beautiful blend of two worlds. While she was born in Ohio in the US, when asked about her country of origin in the interview, she proudly claims India. She makes a point to note that her father, Deepak Pandya, hails from Gujarat. So her identity perfectly bridges this American upbringing with an unbreakable connection to her Indian heritage. It's like bridging the distance between the open fields of the Midwest and the rich cultural history of India.
Then, the interviewer hits her with a really great question. One that gets right to the heart of what drives her. Who inspired you in your life and work? When you're orbiting the Earth and dedicating your life to science, who is the guiding light behind all that dedication?
Her answer? Mahatma Gandhi. Honestly, just think about that for a second. You've got a NASA flight engineer working with literally the most advanced technology in human history, and she looks up to a figure renowned for peace, simplicity, and nonviolent resistance. It's an incredibly powerful image. Her cultural roots aren't just sitting in the background. They actively guide her worldview and how she approaches her life's work. It's her true North Star.
And that leads us to Section 4, Taking India into Space.
The textbook interview then asks her, which special items did you bring with you in the space first time? Remember that question I asked you at the very beginning of this explainer? About what you would pack if space was practically non-existent? Well, here is exactly how Sunita Williams handled it. And this brilliantly illustrates everything we've been talking about. When she traveled into the cosmos, she didn't just take standard-issue NASA gear. No way. She took the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred Hindu scripture. She brought along a small idol of Ganesha, the revered deity known as the remover of obstacles. And she packed a deeply personal letter written in Hindi by her father. The contrast here is just amazing. You have the ultimate high-tech environment of a spacecraft hurtling through the vacuum of space, but it's anchored by these ancient, deeply personal artifacts. She quite literally carried her heritage into the stars. Sunita Williams' story is just a fantastic reminder that no matter how far we push the boundaries of human exploration, we carry our history, our family, and our culture right along with us. So I'm going to leave you with this. Based on what we've talked about today regarding staying grounded while reaching for the stars, what 3 items would you take to space to represent your origins? Take a moment to really think about that. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring and keep learning.